to die.
I thought it was, so the numbers are disputed then.
No, there's 294 crew.
I'm not arguing with you
No,
by
no.
any means.
The crew is 294.
Okay.
34 were killed. At the time, they said 171 were wounded, but it ended up being actually 174 of us wounded. And that's critical, meaning they couldn't do anything to help to keep the ship afloat. Tom, luckily, wasn't injured that way, and he's one of the heroes that saved the ship from sinking. I was injured on the first strafing.
Let's start over. Can you pull that a little closer to you, Tom? Let's start with,
Okay.
Oh, you want to record this now?
it's already on.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know
Started,
that.
and I
Okay.
said, okay, I don't want to miss anything.
Okay.
So, just a little bit about me, okay? I don't like edits. I like being honest, and I like sincerity. I'm trying really hard not to be vulgar. You do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a personal thing. As Tom knows, I'm a very vulgar person, and it's something we've talked about, or I've talked about many times.
You surprised me a few times, yes.
Sorry. I'm trying. I'm
No,
just
no,
a fallible
nothing to be
sinner.
No apology.
I want to know the truth, and I really want you to take me from day one. You were sitting outside of Egypt in the Gulf. What is it, Sinai?
Sinai Peninsula.
Sinai. Okay, that's what I thought, but for some reason I had it in my head acting different.
Yeah.
So you're sitting out there. It was what, 1405?
Well, it's actually 1400 when the attack.
What's going on at 12 o'clock?
Okay, at
2
12
hours
o'clock,
before.
at 12 o'clock we were having lunch.
Okay.
Let me give you a little history about the Liberty. Okay, it was an intelligence ship, meaning a spy ship.
CIA ship, right?
It was controlled by NASA.
Yep.
Okay, and Tom and I were part of the ship's crew, and what that means is we were responsible to keep the ship moving, and whatever the spy section of the ship needed, we supplied them.
So you were.
I was electrician mate in charge of the electrical department of the ship.
And you were.
I was the ship's barber as well as the store clerk that ran the little store that they would get all their pack of cigarettes or they'd get anything at the. Now I even bought our diamond ring through the ship's store, you know, because I always ran a ship's store, and I'd even we'd pull into ports. I would go buy the Coca-Cola from the embassies, bring it back to the ships, you know, and it was a job. It was a good job. I think I had the best one in the Navy because I didn't have to stand on any watches. Right?
Just open the store and close the store.
That's right.
How many
And the
people
same-
did you have
same-
under you?
Huh?
How many people did you have working for you?
Actually, not until after the ship that I had a crew working for me.
So on the ship, it was just you and.
On the ship, it was just me. Yeah, I was part of the crew, and we had a first class that was my boss, and actually he didn't tell me anything to do. He just wrote out my schedule. I did it, and that was it. You know, as far as cutting hair, they had an appointment list on the door, and they'd have to sign up and get a haircut.
So there was approximately 300, 294?
294 exactly.
On the ship.
Correct.
And I would give a haircut every other week, right? So, and the captain would come in every other week, and I'd give him a haircut and a shave. Yeah, and he was a really okay guy, you know, one-on-one to talk to.
Right.
But he was the captain. He ran the ship like a.
He was the big boss.
He was the big boss.
Right.
Yeah.
He was responsible for the ship, but he was not responsible for the spy section of the ship.
Correct. That was a whole separate.
That was a
entity.
lieutenant commander,
Yeah.
Commander Lewis at the time. Now, the Liberty, normally we were home based in Norfolk, Virginia, and we would travel from Norfolk to northwest Africa.
Yep.
And usually we'd hit Dakar or Abidjan as our first port.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it took us about a week to get across the Atlantic. This cruise, I was on 3 altogether. And this cruise, we ended up in Abidjan, and the 6-day war had just started like a day or two before we got to Abidjan. And the ship received orders to go into the Mediterranean. So we left Abidjan, headed into the Med. We stopped at Rota, Spain. And
I would assume the orders must have come down from the SecDef.
I don't know where they came from.
Okay.
But we were ordered to move. NSAA was in charge of the ship, so I'm assuming it was them, but I could be wrong.
Correct.
We went to Rota. We they changed different people in the spy section, and I'm told it was linguists. They had
Sure.
the languages in Africa were totally different than the Mediterranean, and they took aboard people that could talk to the proper, interpret the system.
Yep.
We picked up 3 Marines. Now, on all the cruises before, we never had a Marine on board ship.
No, the Marines were with the NA.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And they came on board, and we had a couple of civilians, which we never had before. And all the cruises I did in Africa, which basically from Dakar to Cape Town to Dakar, Cape Town for 3 months was the normal trip. So we did get into the Med. We picked up these people in Rota, and then we went into the Mediterranean to the Sinai Peninsula. Now, a day or two before we got to there, we'd have a lot of planes flying over identifying us. And they flew at low levels, particularly the day before on the 7th. They were flying, I bet you it wasn't 50 feet above the mast.
Now, from what I've seen, the flag was raised. It was on the ship.
Right.
And I also saw or heard radio recordings between the Israelis and their command, either it was plane or ship, that identified you as an American ship.
Correct. They knew we were American. The Liberty was actually almost 600 feet long, if I remember correctly. And there was only 2 ships in the world that looked like this, the Belmont and the Liberty.
Yeah.
Now, the hull is a World War II Victory ship.
Yep.
The-
400 feet. Right?
Was that all? I thought it was close to 600.
400.
But anyhow, it was immaculate. You could eat off the deck. This captain was the biggest pain in the butt that you could ever imagine. In the Atlantic, going to Africa, if we went outside without our hat on, we'd be put on report. If we didn't salute an officer, we'd be put on report. He was the biggest pain in the neck that you could imagine.
Very by the book,
Oh,
regimented.
incredible. And also,
And he was on the ship when all this went down?
correct, he got the Medal of Honor because of how he kept the ship afloat. But the point I'm trying to make is we had general quarter drills. We call them GQ drills.
Yep.
And they would be for different things like airplane attack, chemical attack, and different types of attacks. We must have done 3 of them a week, all the time. And it was the most annoying thing that you could do. I mean, my duty station was the emergency room, so I sat there for an hour. That's how long the GQ drills took about. And I just sat there. Nothing ever happened, so it got real boring.
Oh,
But
I
the
bet.
only reason the ship survived is because he did that. I was in the electrical department. I was in the most critical electrical position, the generator. When you lose electricity, the ship starts dead in the water, and the ship's going to sink. I was hit on the first strafing,
So, okay.
and because he had trained,
So, to just rewind a little bit, so, because we went from noon o'clock to right now in a hurry.
Yeah.
So,
too fast, yeah.
Things,
That was too fast. In between that noon to 2, we had some planes fly by us, and I actually waved at one of the pilots, and he put his wings back and forth, and I could see him smiling in the plane, and he was probably 100 feet from the ship.
what's the matter?
she,
No, it's picking it up.
okay,
Yep.
okay,
I can see it
all
right here.
All right,
I turned his up. I have the ability to adjust how much feed is getting in on it.
okay. Let's back.
Sometimes it's hard to hear.
Okay, let's back up to the noon. We went to lunch.
Okay.
At the end of lunch, I was up on the main deck and I could see explosions on the beach. That's
all
how
could, yeah.
that's how
And
close
you were
we
on
were.
the beach of Egypt.
We're Sinai Peninsula.
Yeah.
About 12
That's
and a
where
half
we are at
miles
this
off.
point.
Yeah.
And I saw a big explosion. And general quarters happened. So we all went to our duty stations, and that was chemical warfare that time. That's what we were practicing for. And it usually lasted between 45 to an hour. Let's say it lasted 55 minutes. And it was over. And of course, we're traveling at maybe 5-10 knots. We're not doing much speed. It's very slow. And I wanted to go up and see what that explosion was. So I went up to the main deck, looked, I couldn't see anything. And on the superstructure, we have 3 levels. So you have the main deck, which is level 1. Then you had 3 more decks to the top of the ship, and it's just a platform. It's called the 04 level. Now I'm climbing the ladder to get there. And as I'm climbing up, I see this fighter to the right of us. And he's maybe, I'm guessing 50, 60 feet from us. That's all. He's right there.
Yeah.
If he looked at me, I could have waved at him. He could have waved back.
Yeah.
Now, this plane was unmarked.
Yeah.
And I'm told it was a French Mirage fighter. And as I got to the 04 level, I turned, and there's a Lieutenant Toth over there who's supposed to identify any plane that flies over. So I told him, "Sir, did you see that fighter?" And he goes, "No, where?" So I walked over to him, and I turned to point to the fighter that I saw. And that's when the first plane came and strafed us.
And you must have known. Your spidey senses had to have gone off. You must have known shit was going to go south.
Well, I had no idea. All I know is I looked down, and there was blood coming out of every part of my body. I looked at the lieutenant. He looked exactly the same way I did. Now, they found him dead later on up there. But when I saw him, he was standing with me. I could look in his eyes, and I told him, "I'm getting the hell out of here." And I ran, hit the ladder, just like you see in the movies. I slid down, never touched a rung, and I went into the ship. I thought he followed me, but they did find him dead later on.
So the first attack was
That was the first strafing. Now I get in there, and there's glass. All the portals are all shattered. There's glass everywhere. And I didn't realize it, but my left knee had been shattered. So I fell to the deck. And then I crawled through a hatch, down the ladder head first, into the officer's quarter. Now, as I'm coming around, a shipmate of mine, Timmerman, says, "Are you hurt?" And honest to God, I looked up at him, and I says, "No, I like crawling on the deck, and there's blood everywhere." And we actually laughed, the two of us.
Yep.
Now, he said, "I can't help you. I got to get somebody to help you get to sick bay." So he left. And I think I started blanking out off and on then. He came back. They put me on a stretcher. By the way, he had put a tourniquet on my leg so I wouldn't bleed to death. And as they were carrying me around the corner, a corpsman came by and said, "Put him down and take that tourniquet off. We don't want him to lose his leg." So I'm 2 decks inside the ship. They put me down, and a rocket comes through the overhead. And I'm looking up, and I can see blue sky with a little white cloud flowing by. He got hit in the wrist with something. I don't know what it was, but they claimed it was a hole. They claimed you could see right through his wrist at the time. And then they got me to sick bay. Now, Tom,
Yeah.
Yeah. What? So okay.
My turn. Yeah. When that first strike came, right, it was different because the ship started shaking.
And where were you at the time? In the store?
I had just opened up the barber shop,
Okay.
right, and I had 4 guys with me. Well, 3 other guys with me, right. One Smitty was a postal clerk. Another guy. I know Smitty worked in the laundry, and then the postal clerk, and I can't remember what his name is, and I apologize. I should have looked him up. And then Larry, I don't remember his last name either. All 3 of us were they were going to get a haircut. The first strike came by, and the ship actually shakes, and you can feel it leaning like from all that energy that's being caught. Right? And then after that plane left, you could hear people moaning and crying and hollering all over the ship. I had to keep it down. Okay. And then the second wave came, but it came from a different angle. This time it came down from the front, right after it. Only they were doing a figure 8 over us. As one was hitting us, the other one was coming down for one way or the other, And they would both do a figure 8 in different directions, but right on top of us. It was very well planned. The first strike wiped out all our antennas. We couldn't communicate. Couldn't communicate with anybody after that. And when the guy announced General Quarters, he says, "This is not a drill. General Quarters, man your battle stations." And we were all in our little barber shop, probably half of this size, and we're just looking at each other, all surprised as hell, because we just, and we didn't know who it was.
Okay. Where was your barber shop?
The Irish shop was one deck above the main deck. So we started to head out. Those three guys had to go out onto the main deck, down a set of stairs, and then run on the main deck to their post. Mine, I had a stairway, would go down one level, and I'd run for like 5 steps, and then down a second level to the mess deck, and then I'd go over to DC Central, Damage Control Central. There was 3 of us in Damage Control Central.
So you were a first responder to any damage to the ship or personnel?
Any damage to that ship, we heard about. My duty was to talk to the captain's yeoman, right? And he'd give the message directly to the captain, and the captain would tell him, I want this taken care of, not that yet, or whatever.
Yep.
Right? And
Priority of work.
back and forth, right? And that goes. So I'm trying to think. Virgil Brownfield was the yeoman at the time, and him and I would talk all the time. He got wounded on about the 3rd or 4th strike up there on the bridge, and he was telling me everything that's going on, very visual-like, I could see it. Where we were in Damage Control Central, the one deck below the main deck, and we were in a little cubbyhole, like I said, probably, again, this size with a desk in between us, right? And we had a big beam that came down, luckily, off the side of we were on that side of the ship. And when they would strike or anything, they hit the bridge hard as hell. They would hit that hard, they napalmed it hard, they did everything to that bridge, try to wipe it out completely.
And that's where the commander would be.
That's where the captain was, and he stood there the whole time. He got wounded on the first strike, and he stayed there the whole time. He just put a tourniquet on, or I had the doctor put a tourniquet on him, and like that. So it was just amazing how this guy could stand there for that length of time, being wounded, bleeding like hell, and give the commands out. Really smart man, right?
Did this ship have guns? Any kind of
We had
defense?
450 caliber machine guns, and none of them could run more than 10 rounds before jamming up.
You got the leftover use.
The leftover unit. They weren't expected for anything.
But they didn't get to use them a whole lot. I think they only fired one time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we had 4 guns. 3 of the guys got to their stations right away, and 3 of them died instantly.
Yeah.
The only guy that didn't die
Larry.
was he stopped to help a sailor that was injured on the first strafing,
Yeah.
and that saved his life.
So the targets, they knew where they were going.
Oh, they knew it.
They wanted to
Now-
get rid of the bridge, get rid of the command, get rid of the defense.
Now, we did get a Mayday out because the U.S.S. America and the U.S.S. Saratoga, which were aircraft carriers, sent planes to our aid. Now, we only heard this later. We didn't know about this, of course, during the attack. Now, as they are coming to our aid, the admiral ended up...
Can I stop you?
Yep.
All right, so the strafing, the napalm, the air
No, the
attack.
napalm hasn't happened yet.
Okay, can we go back to the strafing happened,
Yeah.
and then you got hit by something, a rocket, is what you described.
They have a cannon.
Mine is from a cannon.
Okay.
My stuff. The rockets were heat-seeking, so every one of the antennas that were on were
Generating a heat signal.
they were wiped out. Luckily for us, there was one not being used, so a rocket never hit that one. Okay, now, like I said, lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
So you're strafing, rockets.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it in a sequential order. Of how all
so
the
we got
events
strafe.
as best we can.
Yeah, we got strafe first and rocketed.
Yeah.
Because they knocked out our communications. We did get the Mayday out to get the planes to our aid. And Lieutenant Commander Lewis, which was the head of the spy section, ended up speaking to the admiral after the attack. And the admiral told him that when he sent the planes to the aid, he called Washington. And McNamara, who was the Secretary of Defense, I believe, at the time, told him, you don't have that right, get the planes back on the deck. So he recalled the planes. Now, my feeling is if you'd let those planes come, Israel never would have fought our planes. So it would have stopped. I'd have been hurt as bad as I was. We'd have lost 7 men. That would have been it. But by calling the planes back, he allowed Israel to do more damage. Now, the admiral told Lieutenant Commander Lewis that he thought the reason they called the planes back is a couple of the planes off either the Marika or the Saratoga had nuclear weapons or something on them, nuclear. So he sent out, again, another squadron of planes, or whatever you call it. And these are all conventional. So again, Washington notified Washington. McNamara told him, get the planes back. And he says, I challenge you. I'm letting the planes go to help Liberty. And at this moment, we think Egypt's attacking us. The plane I saw was unmarked. I know what the plane looked like. It had no markings on it. So we're thinking it's Egypt attacking us. Now, the admiral told Lieutenant Commander Lewis that Johnson told him, you will get the planes back on the deck. We will not embarrass our allies. So he knows Israel's attacking us, but we don't. And they called the planes back because he threatened the admiral with all kinds of repercussion if he didn't follow the orders. So that's critical. Now, Tom knows more about what happened outside at this point, but the only thing I want to say now is I believe the napalm didn't come until the planes ran out of bullets and rockets.
Yeah.
And then they dropped napalm on us.
They dropped it side of
And
the
I
neighborhood.
believe that plane was unmarked too, right?
Yeah, they were all unmarked. All the planes were unmarked.
Right, okay. Yeah.
You know, at that point, take me back in time, history-wise. Egypt, could they afford French planes, French fighter jets? Did they have a trade agreement?
Well, they had a strong relationship with Russia.
Not France.
Not France that I know, but they had Mirage planes. They were Mirage planes. If you ever go to New York and you go to the aircraft carrier, which I believe is not the Intrepid,
The Independent?
Independence.
Yeah.
When I was there three years ago, I saw the plane. At least it looked exactly like the plane I saw. Camouflage and everything was on that flight deck. It was scary. It was really weird when I saw that plane. It reminded me just of the one I had seen.
Yeah.
So then after they ran out, they did the napalm. And then Tom can tell you more about this part because I only heard it from my shipmates. 3 torpedo boats came over the horizon with the flag of David flying. And they thought we were getting help at the beginning. They was, hey, we're going to be saved.
Here comes
And
Israel.
they shot 5 torpedoes at us. Luckily, only one hit.
Right, it hit hard.
And the only place it could hit without sinking us within inches is where that torpedo hit.
On a beam.
We think there's, I'll show you a picture later. We think the I-beam prevented the ship from, the torpedo from getting into the ship and exploding. And if you look at the hole, you see most of the metal bends into the ship. So that means most of the explosion was outside.
Yep.
They told me that it felt like the ship came right out of the water and
Looked like
splashed
it. I
back
saw-
down.
Yeah, either it was a rendering of an artist idea or AI,
Right, yeah.
or it was an actual video of it because there
Yeah.
was some real.
Not
video.
of our ship, but they did show one where the water, they came right
Okay,
out of the water, yeah.
And you
I
see
saw
it
that.
hit it, and the ship it lists.
Yeah,
back
we
and
listed
forth. It
to
was
what,
pretty-
37 degrees was it, where it stopped?
We hit almost 20 degrees. 20, I think 22 and it'd be done. We flipped
At the
over.
worst.
At 22 would flip over.
And you went how many degrees?
Almost 20.
Whew.
Right.
Yeah.
And she
That
didn't,
ship should never have survived.
and she didn't stay. She didn't come back all the way up to zero.
It's,
again.
I think it settled at 37 degrees.
Yeah. It was.
So
yeah,
20 would be over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. The ship actually was alive, right? And when those bullets would come down, or the cannons or anything, you would feel the impact. You would hear it. You would feel it on the floor. You'd feel it in the air everywhere, where it would shake. It would shake like hell, the whole thing, and the thunder was just a different noise I've never heard anywhere else. It was, it was. I can't say scary because he didn't know what it was until the second wave. That was the second wave when it came down. The second wave came over our heads, where the first wave came right down on, I think, on our port side.
Starboard to port. Yeah.
Yeah,
You Navy guys, sorry.
yeah.
Starboard to port.
Yeah.
Was that left to right? Right? to
Right to left.
Right to left.
Diagonally across the ship from bow to stern.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it came down, and the ship would actually react to it. You know, that inertia was just amazing. And then when we all went out, the four of us left the shop to go to our stations. Three of them went out one door, and no, Larry, yeah, three of them went out one door, and I said, I got the door, and I closed it behind him, and I ran for my place. But when I was closing it, I could see one of the planes in the sky leaning and coming down and straightening out, and then it's starting to light up its wings. I could see that, and I knew he was aiming for one of our guys that just ran out of my shop.
And it could have been the pilot waved to you earlier.
He was, I don't know. He had a Jewish plane. He had his wing.
Oh, so this
So-
one
so-
was clearly marked.
He was clear. His was clearly marked. We thought it was a friend, and we all felt good seeing them there. But with that guy, those planes, they didn't have any markings on it.
All of his reconnaissance planes were marked. We knew who they were.
We knew what they were.
And the day before and that morning, a bunch of my shipmates said, I waved at them and they waved back.
Yeah, all the time.
Now, Israel claims the planes that were observing us were 2,000 feet. I never saw a plane 2,000 feet above us. Every plane I saw were 50 to 100 feet above us or less.
Yeah,
No
had
plane was high.
Intelligence on locations, on...
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I can't say that I woke up that day, looked up, and saw the flag flying. But because the captain was such a pain in the butt, I know the flag was
No
flying.
reason to believe
Plus,
it
my
wouldn't.
shipmate, who Joe Meadows, was responsible for the flag.
Yeah,
And he said it was flying, so the flag was flying. And then he said they shot it down. He put another flag the same size up. I think he said 5 by 8. And then when now this took a while, but when they shot the second one down, he put up the holiday flag. Was 8 or 10 by 13 feet.
What's a holiday flag?
It's a gigantic flag.
it's big like.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Yeah, yours is probably
it's about
holiday.
that, probably that size.
This is
Or
20 by
close to
30
it,
is
huge
fine.
anyways.
Yeah.
And he put that up. And, everything we hear, the officials from Israel said, we made a mistake, there was no flag flying. There was a flag flying. The ship was unique. Only 2 ships in the world look like this. In 1967, this ship was so technically advanced, at sea, underway, they could bounce a signal off the moon, hit a satellite, and send it anywhere on Earth they wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, they claim they sent out a message that no ship should be within 100 miles of the Sinai. We never got it. We have that capability, but we didn't get a simple message not to go as close as we did. Why did... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mention this. When the captain went into the Mediterranean, the ship, he requested a destroyer escort because we don't have any armament. He wanted a warship to be with us so they could defend us. The admiral said, I can give you help anywhere in the Mediterranean within 12 minutes by air, which he could have done.
Yeah. Which
But he
tried,
was
yeah.
turned down. He wouldn't get it. We went up and down the west coast of Africa. We never worried about attacks and all that. It was just a real good duty. It could have happened, and we had the 450 caliber guns to repel boarders. If somebody wanted to board us, we could fight them off. That's all we had the 450 caliber guns for.
That happened to us once too.
That happened before you and I got on board, yeah.
Well, no, we were on the Congo, and we were dropping a guy off and needed appendicitis.
That was 2 trips before us.
No, during our trip.
No, Bill.
He was a gay guy. That's right.
Oh, okay.
They dropped him off.
Okay.
They didn't tolerate any of that stuff at that time. There was
Right.
one guy running around, and they didn't tolerate that, so they found an embassy, and they met him on the Congo River. And we went on there,
Shipped
and
him off.
there were guys with the guns there, and we went to repel borders. We went to that station, duty station, at that time.
For some reason I don't remember that.
Yeah,
But
Larry does.
yeah, the only reason we had a doctor is the cruise before the last cruise. My boss, who was a electrician's mate, he was in charge of the electrical department at the time, had an appendix attack. And we had the doctor on board to fix that. But the cruise before that, they had another appendix attack, and they had to bring him into port. And when they were in port, the country wouldn't let the ship leave. So this wasn't Captain McGonigal, it was the captain before McGonigal came on board. At midnight, he manned the guns, pulled the anchor, and they headed out to get away from there. So, see, that's the part. I wasn't on board when they did that. You weren't either, because you came on
No, I was
time after
on
me.
the same time you were.
Yeah,
How long were you guys on the ship?
I was on 3 cruises.
I was on 2.
How many years is that?
That's
Well,
about a year and a half altogether.
My first year.
Yeah.
My first year.
Yeah, a little less than a
Did you
year.
get
and a half.
out after that?
I had to put 3 more years in. I was waiting to go to corpsman school in between. I was a Navy reservist, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I ended up saying, I can't find a job here in Auburn, to live by. I'll join the Navy full-time. So I joined it full-time, and they didn't send me to boot camp. They sent me directly to a receiving station, which sent me directly to the U.S.S. Liberty. I went on the Liberty as a E1, not even a 2 or 3 with no training at all. Luckily,
So you never went to basic or
nothing, none of that shit, no. And luckily, I had my barber equipment with me. For some reason, I had my little case. I had just gotten out of Hanson's Barber School. I don't know if you remember what
I
that
do.
was. I just got out of Bible school. I had the kit with me, and the barber on the ship was lousy. God was helping me, you know what I'm saying? And I started cutting hair for a quarter or a half a buck a piece, depending on if I wanted flat tops or whatever. And I was doing half the crew within a month, you know. So they asked me to put in for it, and I says, because I was on the deck chipping paint and all that stuff and learning the knots and all that stuff. And I said, okay, I'll put in for it. And I put in for it, and the first class says, you can't do that. You can't leave my ship, my crew like that, right? And then his boss, the chief, says, I've had his haircuts. I want him up in the barber shop. So they got me up there, and that's how I got into supply and started, going from there. Well, anyway, in the meantime of all that, they sent me some classes, not classes, they sent me, what do you want to learn, or whatever. This is what you're qualified in this group of people. So I said, I'll be a corpsman, right? After the Liberty, my corpsman cruise came in, and I saw enough blood for the rest of my life. I said, I'm refusing it, I'm staying right here. And that's what I did, so.
So where did you finish your Navy time?
I went on 2 other ships.
2 others.
Yeah.
What kind of ships were they?
The first one was a reefer, another good duty ship.
Like a refrigerator reefer?
Well, yeah, they carried fresh food for the fleets,
Yeah.
right? And again, being in supply, I was starting to get up in ranking a little bit, and I was phone talking with the other ships and telling them, okay, we're sending over 2 tons of this, and they'd answer back. I ended up talking to a guy I went to high school with. He's on a ship.
Small world.
Ain't that awful?
That's awesome. That's great.
Yep. And it was a good duty, but then that one was an old ship, and but the racks on it were tied by rope on canvas, like the old duty. So if you got pissed off at somebody, you didn't want to talk to him, you'd take a knife and cut his ropes. He'd fall through.
So not to bring it back to, but
Yeah.
so you're in the
He's in the mess deck now, laying
He's
on
in
the
the mess
table.
deck,
I'm
laying
lying
on
in-
the table.
Yeah.
Kirk,
And then-
it's off your knee. You're bleeding.
Yeah, and I'm in and out conscious-wise.
And if you guys want to stop, by all means.
No, I'm fine. You okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
If you
I'm
do
doing-
get to the point where you want to stop, just say the word.
Yeah, no,
I-
I'm doing good because I told him I was going to interrupt him now and then.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm not a Navy guy.
Okay.
The closest I've ever been is on the receipt. I didn't receive it, but I got to witness it. Navy gunfire.
Okay.
Pretty amazing.
Oh, the cannons?
Yeah, we had a company from Marine Corps called Angelico, and they called for Navy gunfire. They're like a forward observer for the Marine Corps and the Navy. And they came, I was out on the Euphrates, and we had a problem with boats. And so boats on boats, and they would call for fire. It was amazing. Unbelievable. You know, the inch shells, whatever they were. You know.
5-inch most likely. Yeah.
It's yeah. If you figure I'm in the desert and the Navy guns are hitting it, that's pretty impressive. So that's my only experience with the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the mess decks, and I can remember waking up hearing "prepare to for a torpedo attack." I don't remember the torpedo hitting, so I'm assuming I was unconscious.
So what would fire a torpedo? Just a sub, right?
No, with the
they had
three torpedo boats.
3 PT boats.
Okay.
That type, you know,
Yeah.
and they were coming along.
They shot-
That's the ones that we thought was Americans.
Well, the Israel that we thought were friends.
Yeah, French.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that they were our friend, and
And they shot
They
5
were.
torpedoes at us. It hit the one that hit was the only place we could do it. It killed 25 men
immediately.
instantly. And we have some survivors that were 5-10 feet from where the torpedo hit.
Yeah,
They happened to be on the next deck up or in the next room over and survived it.
yeah.
And their
Because
stories,
it hit that one spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it didn't, if all of us would have died.
We-
And then I
Yeah.
blanked out again. Then I woke up again, prepared to abandon ship. I can remember thinking to myself, leave me here. I'm bleeding too bad. Don't worry about getting me in the ocean. You don't need me there to attract sharks.
yeah.
Just leave me here. And then the captain came over, canceled the abandoned ship. And I didn't know till later the reason he canceled it is every life raft that these guys threw over the side, the torpedo boats sunk, except one that they took on board their ship. Now, the attack on the planes lasted about 25 minutes. The attack on the boats lasted almost an hour and a half. They circled the ship, and I've been told that there were 5,000 50 caliber armor-piercing holes at the waterline.
Yeah,
And these guys had to plug every one of them.
that's what DC Central we did. We were assigned this guy, this area, that area.
Now you're circling a ship. You're circling a ship. On the bow has a 10-foot GTR-5 on the port and starboard. On the stern, we have 5-foot letters GTR-5 port and starboard. In between them, we have in English Liberty. Now these ships are circling us for an hour and a half, and they don't know it's a U.S. ship.
They know.
They know. There's no question that that was a U.S. ship. But they claim
Did you see the ships? Because you're stuck in them.
I didn't see it.
I was one floor below everything in a small room, right, with a desk like this. I felt everything. I heard everything, but I didn't see anything. Okay? And
Now tell them about the
when-
door not opening.
Well, when the torpedo hit, there was 3 of us guys. There was a lieutenant and me and another guy, Gershik, Steve Gershik. We were there and we were doing whatever job we had to do at the time, and they say stand by and brace yourself for torpedo. You know, we're hanging on to this thing, this desk, which is anchored to the floor, awfully damn hard. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's going to hit. When the napalm would come, we were right in front of the bridge, underneath, on that floor where the bridge was, where all that jelly and stuff would come down and settle and burn, was on top of our roof. Wow. Right? That roof would get red hot, and we'd almost have to evacuate and get the hell out, because it was, then all of a sudden, we had called the fire crew. They wiped it out, and they come back at it. You know, that happened 2-3 times. That roof would, you know, you could feel it and hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It was not good. Not good. Why I became a firefighter, I have no idea after. But when we were all hanging onto the table, and when that thing hit, I woke up, and the three of us kind of woke up together on the floor with our faces being washed. Water's going back and forth in our room and waking us up. Somehow a lot of water came into that area and got us all, it was ankle deep then. I don't know where the water came from, where the ship did fly in the air and then splash it, collect it, or what. But we were in the water from then on, right? And that was hell. That was hell. Then we started probably about 15, I'll say, I don't know, a length of time. They said, prepare, we got 3 helicopters coming in the air. The ships had gone around after I gotta go, I'll back up. After the torpedo, the ship didn't sink. So they tried to make it sink with those 50 caliber armor-piercing bullets. And they went around and they would go right around the waterline, 3 ships. You know, you can hear that thunder and you can feel that thunder that whole damn time as well. Not a pleasant time. Some of the bullets, we had a beam in our room too. It hit the beam, and what didn't hit the beam would hit the sewer line. So that came down on top of us. That was really a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah, I bet.
You know, so it was anyway. And then after they left, and they were out of ammunition, they were out of torpedoes, and they took off. They said that 3 helicopters are coming, with armored troops are coming.
U.S. helicopter?
No, this is Israel.
Israel's helicopters are coming with armored
Who
troops.
told you that?
I'm still talking to the guy on the bridge.
Gotcha.
He's the one that's telling me that. He's my visual. He's my eyes.
Yeah.
Right? And he was telling me, he said, we got three effort.
Gotcha. He sees 3 helicopters.
Three helicopters,
Okay,
and they're armed and they're coming after him, and they're circling the ship now. Right?
Can I say one thing here, interrupt you?
Yeah.
We have no small arms. The small arms locker is locked and they can't get into it, so we can't get anything to defend us while these 3 helicopters with commandos are coming. Go ahead.
So we all know we're dead, right? To get the key to the small arms locker is on one of the machine guns.
The dead guy.
The dead guy, right? What a system that is. They got to correct that system. I think they learned something from
I
that.
hope.
Right? You would hope that they learned something from that. Anyway, they're going around and around and around, and I don't know. All of a sudden, they took off. I was told a couple stories. One story I was told that they pulled in front of the bridge and hollered at the captain and said, "Do you need help?" And the captain puts his finger up and tells him, "Fuck you, get the hell out."
I like that story.
Me too.
Okay,
Yeah,
we got to
me
back
too.
up a little bit here.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name, but we have one of our guys that ended up getting his medal after he passed away years later. But what he ended up doing, because of all of these transformers were dead, he actually ran a coaxial cable to the one that was off.
Yeah. Yeah.
While under fire. Remember, the torpedo boats are shooting at anybody moving on deck.
Yeah.
It's sinking anything we throw over the side. So he ran this coaxial cable, connected it, and got it so we could get a Mayday out. Now, from what I'm listening to my shipmates and all that, I believe the only reason the helicopters stopped is we got a Mayday out saying U.S.S. Liberty under attack by Israel. So now the world knows it's Israel. They can't claim Egypt did it. And I think that's the reason why these helicopters were called
I have
off.
no idea.
Because according to Phil Turney, who was part of my group, we were known as the Snipes. We supplied all the power and everything that the ship needed. And he said he saw a guy sitting at the door of the helicopter with his gun on his lap and his feet on the rung. And he gave the guy the finger, and as they were leaving, the guy gave him the finger back. And he thought they were going to board the ship and kill every one of us and then sink it. And then Egypt would have been blamed. But only because this guy was lucky enough to get that cable, and we did get a mayday out stating Israel was attacking us. That's probably what saved our lives.
Did you remember his name?
What remember whose name?
The comms person, the person that got the communications up, ran the call.
Oh, this guy.
Oh shit!
I'll-
Did you get the?
I could get it for you if you want it.
Yeah, I'd love to have it.
Okay. Yeah. He ended up getting a medal later on after he passed
Would he
away.
receive the Navy Cross, Medal of Honor?
No, one of the
I
crosses.
think he got
Navy
the cross, the Navy
Yeah,
Cross.
yeah, but he had to get it. We had to fight for him to get it. By the way, the Liberty is the most decorated ship in naval history for one event. And not many Americans have ever heard about it, other than what we've been trying to get out to say, hey,
59 years.
you deliberately murdered 34 Americans and wounded 174 of us that day. Now, these guys, some of them got wounded but never went to sick bay to worry about it. You know, when you talk to them, they go, Bill, you were lying on the deck dying. I had this cut. Bullet scraped me. I'm not going to go to sick bay and complain about it.
Yeah.
You got a lot of those that deserve even more Purple Hearts, but they never got it. And we got one guy that was part of the secret section of the ship. He said he was standing there when a torpedo hit. He was banged against the ceiling, the overhead, crashed on the deck. And in the last 10 years, he's had, I think, 6 back operations.
No kidding.
And he said, my back never bothered me for 15 years,
Right.
but didn't know that because of that incident, he had serious problems.
Yeah.
So after the helicopters came, they leave,
They leave.
and then.
Then the ship
So
went.
I'm assuming, and I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No,
Tom.
no, I'll tell you after.
So I'm assuming there are people in the water at this point.
No.
There are no one's in the
No
water?
Americans are in the water. We
Everybody
feel if
stayed
they'd
on
been
the
in the
ship?
water, they'd have been killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody went over the side.
Nobody.
So you're
knows.
doing mass triage on people
Every-
in the ship.
Everyone.
174 of us are in the sick bay. The doctor has an intestinal wound. They said he took a life jacket and wrapped it around his stomach so his guts wouldn't fall out.
Wow.
We feel he deserved the Medal of Honor too.
Yes,
what
but
he
he
had done.
saved.
He saved
Hundreds.
every one of us.
Saved 174. Lived a little bit longer anyway.
Right.
Some
Now-
of them died pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Right. But others like him, he still got 55 pieces on him.
Well, 52.
52. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we have all to me, in my mind, every one of the ones that kept the ship afloat are heroes to me, equally.
I wouldn't
They
disagree.
They did what they had to do to keep the ship afloat. So in my mind, he's as much of a hero as any guy that got an award. He didn't get one that I know of.
I
You know,
got
just to
con-
add to that, here you are, some kid from Auburn, Maine, who just shows up on a boat with no training whatsoever and says, "I'm here to cut hair." Essentially, right?
By the way,
He says.
Army man, it's a ship, not a boat.
Oh, I apologize. On the ship, I apologize.
It's true, but that's the story.
Yeah, that's the story. That's amazing to
It's
me.
amazing, yeah.
Now here's the other.
Hanson's Barber School. Yeah.
We've had some real psychological strong things. The attack was
Yeah, how do you
unbelievably
reconcile that?
horrendous.
We have
Now,
a 2-minute break, so I go to the bathroom.
Absolutely.
Where is it?
It's
had never been attacked.
the Bay of Tunkin.
Right?
Never happened,
No.
as we already know.
Correct.
But you have personal experience with it.
Correct. Yeah. So the thing, are we back recording now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, like I said, we have a lot of psychological pressures on us. Okay. The first one is the attack started at 2, ended at about 4. We never saw one thing from the United States until 17 hours later when the America and its ships came over the horizon. They never sent anything to help the ship stay afloat or help people get healthy.
They didn't even send a word.
Yeah,
They didn't even talk to us.
right. And we
Can you
heard.
imagine that?
Pretend you don't hear it.
I heard. Now, being a spy ship, when we went up and down the coast of Africa, we always had a Russian trawler or something off the distance watching us.
Yeah.
Of course, we had one here too. And I'm told they came alongside and offered us help.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the captain, of course, can't let them come on board
Right.
ship. So he said no. But they did offer, if you're sinking, we will come back and take your survivors. So that's the only help we ever got offered for 17 hours from the United States. Not a thing.
More help from your enemies.
That's right.
Yeah.
And of course, they wanted to get on the ship, but they also wanted sailors save sailors. It doesn't matter who you are when you're at sea and you get troubles.
Well, I'm sure they were standing on the deck going, "Holy shit! What the?"
That's right. Yeah. Now,
During that 17, let me interrupt. During
yeah,
that
you got to
ti-
talk about this.
that time after the helicopters left and we weren't being attacked, the whole ship was quiet. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. Nobody, right? And in about an hour or so after we left I left DC Central, went onto the mess deck to see all these guys are on the tables all over. Everybody's quiet. Nobody's saying everything. We're all in awe. We don't know what the hell just happened, right? And we don't know why that stopped. And it was like that for 17 hours. Nobody knew what the hell's going on. No communications with anybody.
Didn't know if it was coming back.
You don't know what's coming back. You don't know what's going. Nothing.
No way to defend
Well,
yourself.
also, you didn't know if the bulkhead was going to.
Yeah,
Hold out.
the whole front of the ship. We were standing watches. Like I was on 4 hours, off 4 hours, or a couple of hours because it was very boring. You'd walk down the hatch and look to see if there's any going to be water flowing down there. If it is, we're abandoning ship. And we did that as we're trolling it at 3 miles an hour or 3 knots or whatever, heading out. Right. At one point in time,
Wow.
at one point in time, once the ships did arrive, we started heading up towards Malta when they decided where we were going to go for repairs. We could have gone to a place a day away or 2 days away, but instead we went to a place a week away, just in case we might sink. It'd be good to get rid of all that evidence.
Wow. Abandoned by your own people.
That's right, completely
Well, not your
abandoned.
people. I apologize.
gets-
but your government.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
Now, talk about kid coming on board.
Yeah, a couple of days after, when Admiral Kidd found out that, okay, this ship is safe enough for you to go on.
He's a 4-star admiral.
He's a 4-star, and he gets us into small groups. And he starts talking very friendly, like a regular guy. He says, "Boy, I'm really proud of you guys. How this thing is still floating. It's just amazing." And he says, I'm your friend." And he takes his bars off and he puts them on the table. And he says, "Tell me what the hell happened? What did you guys do? What do you think?" And everybody's crying to him. I mean, literally, we don't know what the hell we're doing. We're talking to this guy for the first time, and he's from somewhere away, and he's supposed to be an admiral. And he listens to us for about 20 minutes, a half an hour, and he says, he takes his bars and he puts them back on. He says, "I'm your admiral now. If I hear another fucking word from any of you, I'll have your asses in jail for the rest of your life. This ship is not going to be mentioned to anybody, to your family, to nobody, no friends, even between yourselves. You don't talk to anybody." And he walks off. And he did that to several crews.
Well, every one of you survivors.
Wow.
Enlisted. He only did the enlisted.
So
So you weren't part of this because
I'm not part of it. No. Well,
he's an
the next morning, I was evacuated to the America by helicopter.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
for me, when they were pulling me into the helicopter, the guy said to whoever was on the deck, "We'll take one more after him." Now, technically, I was unconscious for 7 days. I did wake up a couple of times. They were doing some big needle on my lungs had collapsed, so I'm assuming they were doing something with my lungs. And then one other time I looked around the room, but nobody ever knew I woke up. But officially, I was unconscious for 7 days on the America. They are going through this shit while I'm there. Now,
Imagine that.
there was
So
an
it's-
admiral came on board and spoke to the commissioned people. And he swore the officers to secrecy till the day he died. and he died 15 years later, and that's when the
First
officers
reunion.
started talking. Ennis made the book Assault on the Liberty, and that all came out. And then we started talking after that, not right away, but after that.
Yeah.
Now,
Admiral Kidd, he had, for some reason that rings a bell. Was he part of World War II, Vietnam?
I'm sure he was World War II. No, I don't think Vietnam, but he might have been because he was an admiral, a four-star admiral
He was
at the
involved
beginning.
in something
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, he had to be something in World War II to be an admiral in
Yeah.
'64.
Or the Korean War.
Or-
In the probably the Korean War, yeah.
was
right,
the Navy
exactly.
heavily involved in the?
Well, we're involved in everything.
Yeah,
You
touche.
only get the troops there by ship.
At that point, yeah.
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 And but he did this. Now, just to stray off, Phil, my shipmate, said they got to Malta, and then a couple days later or a week later, he went on Liberty. He and a bunch of the guys, and there's someplace in Europe at a pub or something, and they're talking about the Liberty. And two men in black suits and civilians' clothes came up and escorted them back to the ship because they weren't allowed to talk about it.
No shit.
Yeah.
So you were being watched.
Yeah. I was told to go back as well. Not,
Oh, were you?
not with
Okay.
Phil.
Okay.
It's another group.
My
So they were watching us all the time.
My experience for the cover up is I went from the Liberty to the America, spent a month and a half, 2 months on the America, got healthy enough to go to Naples, Italy, spent a month and a half to 2 months there, and this is all controlled. Nobody can come to see me or talk to me at all in these two locations. I go to Germany at the Army Hospital, and they put me in a ward where there's 12 or 15 Vietnam veterans, injured veterans. I'm not in there 3 minutes, and they put me on a gurney, bring me to a private room, and then some officer comes in and says, "Your name is Smith, and if anybody ever asks you, you know nothing about the Liberty." So that's the only experience I had of what Tom went through. To me, that's disgusting. That admiral should have been hung.
You're lucky you got to live.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
The federal government's no joke.
No.
No.
When it doesn't want to support you, you're going to die.
Yeah.
That is something fucked up.
Yeah, we believe divine intervention saved us.
Yeah.
So I can just go out on a limb here and say they were most likely trying to drag the U.S. into this 6-day war.
Well, my feeling is at that time in '64, we weren't supporting Israel a whole lot. It was just a young country. It was only 19 years old. That's all it was at that time, I think. And Johnson wanted us to be more supportive to Israel.
I didn't realize that he was Jewish. Johnson.
He's not Jewish. He was related
but
to a
we
bunch
tro-
of Jews.
but-
He had
no.
a very high authority Jewish girlfriend.
Or his wife or something.
No, his what do you call it? Not his wife, but his
Oh, his affair, his
yeah.
Yeah.
And she was very high in Israel.
mistress.
Mistress, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I heard.
Well,
But I don't think we've ever had a Jewish president, have we?
well, he kept. We just met somebody at the reunion who was in the Secret Service.
Oh,
And
you're
did
talking
he say
about
that Johnson was Jewish or was Carl?
Carl? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
no,
He led very well. He led us to believe that Johnson was Jewish.
well, he was a very strong.
And he led
supporter
us to
of-
believe that Johnson had something to do with JFK
Correct.
leaving.
Yes.
Correct,
Yes,
yeah.
JFK's assassination.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was. Yeah, which we never found anything about. They never released the files.
No,
Well, this Carl fella that we were talking to he was a Secret Service agent for many years, and he
He worked for Rand Paul.
he's not Jewish.
He was a leader. Well, yeah.
Strong supporter of Israel because of his profound dedication to the Jewish people, which included helping Jewish refugees flee Europe. Let's see one more thing. Was President Johnson's girlfriend or mistress. I wish I had a helper that could type this stuff up. For me. did not have a widely known Jewish mistress, however, was romantically linked to several prominent women, and his administration had close ties to influential Jewish figures. Alice Glass. Wow, Johnson, he was out there, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I didn't. Nobody knew about this, did they? Huh?
I didn't know. I've never not paid much attention to Johnson, quite honestly.
No, right? And he died mysteriously. They said. That's what Carl said. He
Yeah,
he
Carl
died
knows
mysteriously.
A lot of that stuff.
He died mysteriously, right?
Hmm.
Like, okay, we've gotten what we wanted.
You
out of
served your purpose.
You served your purpose. Yes.
Matilda Prim, a highly influential Jewish biologist, Zionist and philanthropist,
Maybe that was his girlfriend.
was part of LBJ's inner circle.
There you go.
Yeah.
She had a room in the White House and was a close confidant. I don't know, but my wife ain't gonna have a room at the White House unless I'm there too.
Okay, Tom, did you tell them about the interviews, the 4 DVDs? Okay, there, years ago, maybe 5-6 years now, me and 4 other of my shipmates were asked to do an interview at True News, which is a religious news
Oh, True
network
News. Yep.
in Vero Beach, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I live on the West Coast, so I drove over. They flew 3 other guys down. 4 actually. One was a supporter, but we won't mention him. But the 3 shipmates were flown first class into Orlando, and they drove them to Vero Beach. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they did 16 hours on one-on-one interviews. We do an hour, we go away. We do an hour, come back. And at the end of it, the producer or whatever his title was said, "We didn't know this was this big. We've got to do more investigations." And he took a year and a half to go interview a whole bunch of other shipmates of mine, and actually ended up speaking to a captain of a Russian nuclear sub that was there during the attack. And he said that the Russian captain told this guy his orders were, if the United States attacks Israel, if the United States attacks Egypt, you are to eliminate Israel. Now, we believe, at least I believe, I think Tom believes the same thing I do, that if the Liberty had sunk, we're told there were 4 planes with nuclear bombs on them on their way to Cairo. And if the Liberty had sunk, they would have dropped probably one of them on Cairo, because Cairo would have been blamed for the Liberty killing of 200 Americans. And if that had happened, Russia would have eliminated Israel with a nuclear bomb, and the world probably would have ended that.
A nuclear war.
It would have been World War III, and it would have been a nuclear war if the Liberty had sunk. And to me, these guys saved the world, not only us, by not letting that ship sink.
Isn't that crazy?
It could, and it's very possible that that could have been it.
So much goes on that we have no idea.
That's right. But these guys wouldn't let the ship sink, so they saved the world. They all deserve unbelievable medals.
Yeah, and praise.
Yeah.
And ice cream bars.
And also, I found out, Tom, we got the President Unit Citation. That's equivalent. That's the second most powerful award.
No offense, but does it really mean anything?
No, but the point
It
is,
means nothing.
no, because of the way we got it. But the point is, it's very powerful. I only thought it was this nothing, but it's equivalent to the second most powerful award a soldier or a sailor can get. Well, the whole ship got that. These guys deserved it. They kept the ship afloat.
The captain, when he got his Medal of Honor, was done in the shipyard. The president didn't invite him, and it was the vice president who went down and gave it to him.
No kidding.
Yeah.
When was that? When did he receive it?
Oh, he received it 15, 20 years ago. I don't know.
Oh, longer than that.
Longer than that.
He
A
got
long
that
time. Yeah.
in
Just
reasonable
wondered.
time after the attack.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a ridiculous time. It was reason. The insult was that he wasn't invited to the White House and received it like Vietnam veterans got.
Right. Or a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Another insult to us. Now, this is far-fetched, and this is only me thinking. We had our first reunion 15 years later. Tom, Mickey, my first wife, and I are at this reunion. Thursday, we have every major media that you can, ABC, CBS, everybody's there. That night, Israel attacked Lebanon. Friday morning, we only had the Washington Post for a news media. So my feeling is they invaded Lebanon so that the media would not make a big thing out of the Liberty. That's, again, just me thinking, saying simple thinking.
Yeah, which probably isn't wrong.
Could very well be true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we did, and that would have been our first exposure. We were told the media here after the attack were 2 to 3 days. That's all they had. Other than that, everything was shut down.
I listened to this guy. He's called the Fat Electrician. He's a podcaster, and he does a great job historical events. And for some reason, I could have swore I saw an episode he had done on the U.S.S. Liberty.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I went and tried because I wanted to make sure I was at least up to date on my facts. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. So I went back to that episode to find it, and I couldn't find it, which is odd. Maybe my memory, again, failed me. But I did look at other videos, and it's really unfortunate the lack of coverage that incident has received still to this day.
It was hushed up and planned. The cover-up was planned instantly. I met on one of my... when I first started talking about what happened to me that day, my wife and I went to Orlando, and we did this religious group. Had to be 80 to 100 people there. And me and Ernie Gallo told our stories. And as we finished, the organizer, Bob, said, "Hold on, I want you to meet somebody." He pulled this guy out of the crowd who happened to have been the photographer on the U.S.S. America. So all the pictures I show you from off the ship, he took them.
I'm going to have you email it so I can attach them to this, if that's okay.
All righty, yep.
If you're okay with
Oh,
it.
yeah, no problem.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay. And he said the minute the ship turned to start heading to you, they confiscated every camera from every crew.
Right.
They were supposed to be going on Liberty within 2 weeks. They canceled all ports for 90 days. That's how fast the cover-up started. And
It's crazy.
Admiral...
That's powerful, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
You think of it.
who's the Arizona senator that died a couple of years ago? McCain. His father, Admiral Ken McCain,
Yeah.
was the big wig that controlled the whole cover-up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dishonesty.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So where does it go? So, because the human part too. So you leave, you do 3 more years. You're on a reefer ship. I almost said boat.
Yeah.
Reefer ship.
Yeah.
And
Just
then-
for a year and a half, and then I went to a tanker, and did the same thing.
Now, did you get left alone? Were you harassed at all? Did you get any comments like "shut your face"?
Nobody knew anything.
No. Okay. So you didn't talk.
I'm going to jail. I get a year and a half. I get freedom again.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how I felt about the Navy after. I'm in prison.
How long was it before you told your story?
Oh, Jesus.
3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's it.
She didn't know about it. Probably how many years? Yeah.
And you were with your wife at the time?
We've been married 57 years.
Wow.
Right? And she, a good 30 of them, she never even knew nothing.
She was exposed the only time when I stopped by.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
something
That was probably her only exposure. I'd come by and I'd see Tom all the time. I was born in Rumford.
Oh, okay.
So matter of fact, we have a place up in the lake just outside of Rumford. And I've always been coming up, and I'd stop by his shop, his key shop. We'd talk, have lunch or something. And that was the only exposure I never knew that until today, that was the only exposure you had. We got a whole bunch of engineers. I got one, Larry Bowen, who's the president of the Liberty Association. He was part of the spy group. He served 22 years in the Navy, and then became a contractor for the same thing. So he never talked about it up until maybe 8 years ago when he heard about the association. He joined and became very talking about it. He's got unbelievable horror stories like Tom has. If Tom goes into some details, you can't believe what these guys went through. And another insult, mental problem to my shipmates is when they got to Malta, they made the crew, the spy crew, go down and pick up the pieces of their buddies. They didn't bring new people in. They wanted to keep everything quiet.
Yeah.
So these guys had to go down and find the pieces of their very good friends. Larry said it was his best friend, who happened to be Jewish, by the way, too, that was killed. And he can
It's
remember.
it's not a religious thing.
No,
No,
not
that's
at all.
Israeli.
Yeah.
No.
But when Larry talks about it, he'll mention that he's a Jewish person, and he was his best friend, but he had to go down and find him.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine
I can't.
they could do that to a sailor. That's inexcusable.
We had to bag them.
Yeah,
Once they brought them up, we all bagged them.
yeah. What Kid had
mean, you
did
know.
to you guys
Yeah,
is
we had to
unbelievable.
go. They'd take a hose and it'd wash the body parts towards
Wow.
towards us. We'd pick them up and put them in a basket or put them in bags, and turn them in, like it's a piece of bread.
You've never told me that.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
knew longer than that, Tom, because since we've been going to the reunions and.
Oh, that's right. The 15th reunion. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So she
That's
knew
right. Yeah, the 15th. Okay. Yeah, but I never talked to it after.
that. Correct.
We went to the reunion and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, for a short time, has finally been telling me for a while now what he saw,
I'm talking to you.
and it's unbelievable.
I'm talking to you and not talking to
Right.
some stranger or
Exactly.
some audience where I'm supposed to talk to these people.
Now,
We talked with you.
right. Yeah, and that's only, well, how long's it been since you've left Florida?
Since the pandemic,
6, 7 years?
6 years.
Okay. So that's when you started talking to me about it, just before that.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were at that furniture place, the big one.
The big furniture place.
Yeah, down in Florida.
Oh, IKEA.
IKEA. And that's the first time you started telling me
Yeah.
of things that you went through.
Right, yeah.
IKEA.
For anybody that's watching and can't hear everything, the two misses are here. So there's some chatter in the
Yeah.
background. You're more than welcome. Don't sweat it. There's nothing about me that's professional. I gave that up a long time ago. Don't sweat it.
Oh,
Don't sweat it.
did Tom tell you about the two things that have happened to help get the Liberty information out?
I heard one. There was a podcast. Maybe it was the True News incident with the interviews, but there was something
no.
with a podcast where it was Paul Massey.
Oh, that's
No,
not a
no.
podcast.
Uh-uh.
That was done at the House of Representatives in D.C. on Monday, June 8th.
Anniversary.
We were invited to meet with Tom Massey, the representative from Kentucky.
Who's a good guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we met in his office for about an hour before he went to the hall.
Yeah.
And we all told him what happened. And-
I think what the real hit was Phil's interview with Candace
Oh,
Owen.
yeah, we'll get to that in a
The
minute.
podcast he made with Candace Owen.
Yeah.
And
But
she
let's
said-
finish Massey first.
Okay.
Then he went to the floor and requested a proper investigation be made, and it was entered. Then nobody rejected it, so it was entered. So this is the first time in 59 years that an official had anything to do with the Liberty. Now, we have reunions every 2 or 3 years, and then we have a big one on each decade.
How many survivors are left?
We're figuring somewhere between 80 and 90, but we haven't gotten in touch with a lot of them because of what Kid did to them. They just
Still spooked.
want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Some
And
say
then
50.
another thing we had, Tom and I did presentations at New Hampshire. Is that the representatives too?
Yeah, that was a House of Reps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other shipmates had done it different times, but Tom and I went and did it once. And
That was my
They're
first time
trying-
in the public.
they're trying to get an official directive or something from New Hampshire to force the United States to do a proper investigation. And then the other big thing is, like he mentioned, Candace Owens, Phil Turney, he was the last president of our association. He just gave it up on the 8th.
Yep.
And he had an interview with Candace, and Candace hadn't heard much about the Liberty. She did know something, I think, but at the end of it, she's giving the association $40,000 a year
That's what you were telling me
to
about, Tom.
till the last official representative dies.
Yeah, and
That's
Very
how much.
generous of
That's
her.
how she
Yeah.
was so touched. She had never known
anything about it.
about the Liberty, the truth.
But she knew a lot about Johnson.
Oh yeah.
She's the one that came out about the Jewish influence over Johnson, and that he might have had a lot of influence on the death of
Kennedy?
Kennedy. She says that during the podcast.
Well, I've heard a lot of stuff because Israel considers me anti-Semitic because I want the truth out,
Yep.
and I've heard for many decades now that Johnson had a lot to do with Kennedy. I always thought he did, but now more because of the Jewish influence. Evidently, Kennedy wanted to do two things: not get us into Vietnam, and not to allow Israel to have nuclear weapons. And within a month or so after his assassination, he was supposed to officially make that out, that they weren't going to be allowed to do it. And that had a lot to do with why Israel didn't want him to be in office anymore.
Everybody hated Kennedy. The mob hated Kennedy because of Cuba.
Right.
Everybody was out to get
Well,
that.
you get Bobby Kennedy trying to break up
Yeah.
that, so.
Right, but they helped get him in the seat.
Correct.
Right? So they hated him. Israel hated him.
Right.
He seemed like he pissed off everyone.
Yeah.
It's my kind of guy.
But also, Phil has spoken to Tucker Carlson.
Yep.
He's done an interview with him and a bunch of the other big podcasters out there. Phil is the reason we have the association as strong as it is to get the truth out.
He just wrote a book, and I'll let you read it.
Phil did?
Yeah. And have you read it?
Not yet. I've got
Oh.
it, but I haven't read it.
I made sure that she wrote it.
Really good.
It shows you what he went through personally during the aftermarket of it. It tells about the Liberty for a while, but how he lived it in the after is what really struck me. This guy has gone through hell because of his shipmates dying, right? And he didn't go with them. And I'm honored to know him now because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
And evidently, the officer in charge of the main fire control or damage control, I think it was called,
Yeah.
Phil actually ended up being the responsible person over everybody to keep that ship afloat. And
Yeah,
it wasn't
how
meant to
essential.
be, but his officer above him was either injured or killed. So he ended up with that
He's
responsibility.
the guy.
Yeah. And he's a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
He hates Israel for the 34 dead. And I was wounded quite severely. I went from 160 pounds to 75.
Wow.
And if I hadn't gained the weight the cruise before,
What were the injuries? Because you told
I've
me
got-
about your knee.
I got shrapnel all over my body. And they've taken pieces out. But
So when that lieutenant, you also got.
we
peppered?
both got hit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I looked down, there's blood coming out of every part of my body. I looked at him, he looked the same as me. I was lucky, no
And you
organs.
had no idea.
Nothing deadly hit me, but he might have been dead. He just hadn't fallen yet when
That's
I took
something.
off. But I went from, the cruise before, I weighed 125 pounds.
How did they list it? So you must have received a Purple Heart.
I've got a Purple Heart, yeah.
And I'm sure you were medically discharged or compensated medically.
I got the same benefits as a lifer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So how did they list it? Is you were wounded on the U.S.S. Liberty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and on my DT-214, it does say attacked by Israel.
No kidding.
But that's one of the few things that you actually
surprised.
see that.
And when did you get your DD-214?
Oh, I got it when I got out.
1960.
5.
Yeah.
60. No, I got out in 67. Yeah. I got
I
out
was
1
surprised
month.
they would put that on there.
I got out
Yeah.
1 month before my 4 years would have been up. But I wanted to make a career out of it.
And it's not a Jewish thing; it's a government thing.
Correct.
And I don't think you can have any faith in any government. Any government that has the ability to be corrupted will be corrupt if there's money, votes, power, influence.
Okay. This is a bulletin, a billboard that was put up in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. That sailor there on the corner, that's me.
Oh, no kidding.
You can zoom in on it.
Oh, I'm old. I got to put on my glasses.
You're old.
Don't even start with me, mister. It's not the years, it's the miles. And I know you got a few more miles than me, but
But that's me.
no kidding.
Yeah. See the wound?
So when we were talking and you first described it, this isn't what you described. You said
Right.
you had blood coming out. I thought it came off of the lieutenant and splashed.
Oh, no, it
onto
was
you.
out of me.
Wow.
Yeah. The cruise before, I weighed 125 pounds. Now tell me, why did me and another skinny kid say, let's go down to the gym and work out and bulk up and get some meat on us?
For anybody that's watching this, I'm not sure how I'll put them in there, but the pictures will be there.
I'm sorry?
I was just saying
Oh.
to anybody who's watching that I'll put the pictures
okay.
in there because you can see the U.S.S. Liberty. too.
Okay, you
That's
can just
pretty-
send them to yourself. How's that?
Yeah, well, after we're done.
Before we're done, yeah.
Yeah. Is it all right if I just flip through the rest
Oh,
of these?
yeah, go ahead.
And is that the hull of the ship?
I don't know which picture you're looking at. Oh, that's the hole. That's where the torpedo
hole.
hit. Those are men standing in the hole. It was 40 by 25.
Here, you know what? I'm going to go like this. I'm going to hit pause. All right, we're back. And then here we go. We got photos. And I'll keep... And so that's the U.S.S. Liberty.
Correct. Can you blink on it and make it big?
Yep.
Okay. Now, this ship and one other ship in the world look like this.
The Belmont.
The Belmont was the sister ship of the Liberty. Yeah, it was GTR 4.
And this was 5.
And you heard of the Pueblo, right?
Nope.
You don't remember when Korea captured the Pueblo?
Oh, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, that's part of this same group.
Okay.
That's one of these ships that NSA controlled and didn't protect. Can you zoom in on it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
What I want to do is show you where Tom's shop was and where I was standing.
Is there any other better pictures of it?
Only if you could blow it up. You got it on your screen, right?
No, I got it there.
Oh, okay. But anyhow,
Let me go.
there's the superstructure. You see the 4 levels. Main deck, 3 decks, and then the top right above it is the 04 level. Right in front of the mast is where I was standing on that deck when I got shot. Now, Tom's,
Right in front of the mast,
where
right
was
here.
yours? I thought it was up all by itself,
What?
your shop, your barber shop.
It
And I
was
thought it
by
was-
itself, but
I thought it was on the stern behind, on the back side of the
it was on the
superstructure.
back side of the bridge. Actually, one deck below the bridge.
Right.
And then back one. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Now-
It could have been radar or something room.
Okay,
There,
if you look at, see the people standing on the bow?
Yep.
Okay, to the left, right where it drops down, you can see the gun, right there, right where you
Yeah.
had it. That's the 50 caliber gun. There's one there, one on the other side, and then a midship, we have 2 more of them.
Well, you can see a round area.
Yep.
You can see it.
Yeah.
I
Now,
can't see
these
the
2
ones
guys were
midship,
killed,
But
and then just in back of the superstructure area, there's 2
this
more.
is the superstructure.
And that was
Yeah.
our defense. Now, see that big thing? See the boat? The
Yep.
captain's gig? Well, right behind it is that dish. That is what they use to bounce the signal off the moon.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay? And no other ship had this stuff on it.
Yeah, you were unique, specialized.
Got 2 ships like this. Admiral Moore, who was 2 times Joint Chief of Staffs in charge of it. 2 times he was there. He was a World War II veteran, both at Pearl Harbor, May Day, and all of this, Midway, I mean, and really good. He was our first official person that said this is not a mistake. This was a deliberate attack on a U.S. ship. And we've had Admiral Kidd, Captain Boston, who was in charge of the JAG investigation. He told me, I spoke to him, he told me that he had the record of the attack, went home, came back the next morning, and it wasn't the same record there anymore. What he had read the night before was totally different than what he had ended up being ordered to sign. But it was very unique. Now, if you go to the next picture, that's just a different view of it. See where those sailors are up on the right there? White?
Right here?
No, on the bridge. Up
On the
there.
bridge, yeah,
see?
gotcha.
Go to the left to the center of the ship. Right there is where I was standing when we got
Gotcha,
the
with
first
that
strafing.
lieutenant.
That was the first strafing. That's when I got hit. Now go to the next picture. Now look how rough that is. This is the ship they claim that they thought was the Liberty.
Looks like a steamboat.
Now they claim, well, it's actually a cargo, cattle
Steamship,
a
sorry.
cattle
A freight ship.
a ship. It's about 200 feet long, and at the time wasn't even seaworthy anymore. And they claimed that the beach was being shelled,
From this.
well, from a ship.
That
The
looked
Liberty
like-
only had 4 50 caliber guns, so we weren't shelling. That thing is not capable of shelling, so it's a bunch of bullshit. So go to the next picture.
Wow.
This is the next day when the America came alongside.
That's
you
a
can
David there.
no, that's a frigate. That's not a destroyer.
Okay. We
That's
had-
the flagship.
Okay.
of that unit.
Wow.
He wasn't on a frigate. He was on a bigger ship than a frigate.
Well, maybe I've got the wrong name, but that's where Lewis went, I believe, and that's where he spoke to the
That's
admiral in
crazy.
charge of the fleet.
The deck is gone. The masts are gone.
Yeah. Now you can see about where the hole is on that.
Yeah, right here.
No, to the right a little. To me, it looks like there. But I could be wrong.
She's leaning now.
And then just peppered with 50
Yeah.
cal all
It's
over.
probably more midship, but it's underwater. I think it's totally underwater.
That's why it's listed to the side.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
So that's what it looked like when the America came alongside the next day.
And that's where your 50 cal should be there. Oh, no, right there.
Yeah, those are the front and the. I don't know if I can see it. Oh, you know what? Let me check. I can magnify it.
There you go.
Wow,
That
look at
shows
that.
it's leaning there.
Yeah.
That,
And I'm assuming that's a U.S. helicopter coming to get people off the ship.
yeah, that's what the helicopter. Yeah, was out on the front like that.
Oh, and look at that. Is that an American flag right there?
Oh, yeah. Well, they claim we put that up after. Just like on the bow, the GTR 5.
Yeah. You guys
We put
painted
that on, during the night before the America got there. The next picture is a pretty good one.
Oh, wow.
I think it shows the list a little better.
Yeah.
Now, that's how they evacuated me. They brought me up there in a stretcher, and they hauled me up and put me inside the helicopter.
That's how they evacuated 174 of you.
I'm sorry?
That's how they got rid of all of you.
Right.
It's crazy.
Helicopters like that. Yeah.
And you sat on the ship for another week.
Oh, he spent fixing it and everything, right?
Yeah. Well, while they fixed it in the dry docks, we slept right there.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long
It,
did
ca-
it
it
take?
caught on fire when we were in dry docks, and almost destroyed it again right there.
Well, what about you
How
guys
did it
not
catch
wanting
on fire?
They said somebody with a welding outfit and
Bullshit.
whatever.
Yeah.
We fought another fire.
Now, what about not wanting to sleep inside the ship?
All of us
Yeah, tell them.
for that week were sleeping on the deck. I say all of us. I know I was, and everybody that I knew was sleeping on that deck.
Yeah, they didn't want to be inside it.
I don't blame you.
Okay, the next picture, you can see where the napalm was, where it's all dark
Yeah.
in the back of the superstructure.
Well, in the front there of the bridge, you can see that it's darkened too. that would drip down, and come down onto the main floor.
Oh, really?
And that would be all fire, that whole area.
Yeah, because you were back here, right, on this
No, at
subfloor.
DC Central, I was in the front of the,
Oh, during yep.
yeah, I was in the front, just below the main deck.
Yeah, he forgot to tell you that
The main deck was my ceiling.
when he wanted to evacuate, he couldn't get out because the door was jammed. Right?
When they told us, okay, prepare to evacuate and stuff, that our doors were all jammed.
How did you wind up getting out? Somebody.
From the outside, a crew was banging away for a good half hour on one of the doors and got it open, and he came over to us.
What a terrifying feeling.
While you're waiting,
Or as
you-
soon
you
as
know
you
where- you know
realize
where
that
you're going.
door's not opening.
huh?
As soon as you realize that door's not going to open, because you're stuck.
You know where you're going,
Yep.
right? So yeah,
Meanwhile, raw sewage, water sloshing, smells pleasant, I'm sure.
and they're still hollering fire here, water here, whatever, and we're still assigning people to go, right? And then their crews are getting smaller. Some are getting wounded when they got on the main floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So next picture. That's where the napalm was dropped.
See how it blackens everything?
Scorched it.
It scorches. Yeah.
Now, though, that rack there held life rafts, and when they dropped them in the water, the gunboat sunk them. Another picture of the
Un-
napalm area.
wow.
Now,
Just
while these
ballistic.
guys are fighting this fire, the gunboats are shooting at these guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's all against the war. That's a war crime.
Oh, yeah.
Another picture of the fire,
Wow.
after the fire.
And they never persecuted anybody for
No.
Nor will they.
Well, here's,
will they? No.
here's the back gun turret
Wow.
emplacement you'll see now. Right there, that's the 50 caliber gun.
Look at the holes.
Yeah. And again, that's a transmitter. So they hit it with heat-seeking missiles.
Yeah.
What is all this down here? Just
That's the
charred
deck,
mess.
deck
Yeah.
below. That's the deck below.
Just a
Right?
charred.
That's the main deck there. That's one deck above. Right?
Wow. Look at it.
And you can't put that out. Much as you want to, it still will burn till it's gone, right?
It's just
What?
The fire, the napalm.
Well, the napalm is a jelly, and,
Right.
and they didn't have the foams or anything to smother it, and water doesn't do anything but push it.
spreads it. Yeah.
Right? It only pushes it from one side to another or off the deck. That's what they had to learn how to do.
Wow.
It's a funny place to have a class, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see where those guys are standing on the 04 level?
Yeah.
Just to the right was where I was, right there. That's about where I was standing.
Unreal.
And I went into the next deck down. That's when my leg
Miracle
gave
you-
away, and I climbed into the officer's quarter right there.
And this is the officer's quarters.
Yeah,
It's a miracle you made it.
yeah. My office was right below in this group of this building right here, somewhere along that.
Yeah.
There was my room where I kept all my electrical.
And your barber shop is on the other side.
on the
Yeah,
back side
yeah,
of this,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
This is them in Malta.
Yeah.
See the big holes?
Holy shit. Yeah.
There was 850. They stopped counting at 850, that big or bigger
Yeah.
in the ship. Here's a better picture of them coming
So
up.
those
next.
went through and hit the quarters, I would think.
Somewhere in
But-
next, right?
Remember I told you that I closed the door and then ran like hell downstairs? I knew the pilots saw me, so I dove downstairs, and that door had a hole like that. And that room, when I was on my way down, there was three guys on the bottom of the stairs. They were just, their eyes were bigger than looking at me coming down, right? But on top of me was all fire, was all sparks and that shit right there. So, it's just,
That is unbelievable.
so, like I said, I didn't see it.
Okay.
I just heard it and I felt it.
Again in Malta,
Right.
there's a boat that used to be there,
Yeah. Off the
right off of those, yeah. And again, they sunk that
And
when
they
it was
just
put
hammered
inside.
it going right up.
Yeah.
Look at all the holes. Look at them all.
Yeah, like I said, there was over 5,000 on the water line alone of the 50 calibers.
I was talking to the coxswain of the captain's boat. He just that week got the job of being the coxswain of the captain's boat and never took it for a ride with a captain in it. And I said, well, you ain't going to yet, because that boat was destroyed. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, here's in dry dock. They're pumping it out. Oh, that was the top of the hole we saw.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're pumping it out in dry dock now.
Look at all the holes. Look at them all.
Oh, there's thousands of holes. There's thousands of them. And the ship, it's being steel. It transmits the sound.
Vibrates.
Vibrates. If you think you're in a steel drum, right?
Look at that.
And you wonder how come sometimes they don't hear well or pay attention well.
Holy.
Okay, now see how the metal's bending in?
Yep.
Now, all the equipment that's coming out of here is top secret, by the way. Only certain clearances can go in and touch that stuff.
What is that? Some sort of sack to try to
That's
seal
just
the
part
hole?
of the metal bending into the ship,
That's
I
the
think.
metal.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what it is. The next picture, you can see people.
One of those torpedoes, I was told, went underneath the ship. And
Oh, really?
And that's why that one hit at water level.
Okay.
Is
Now, see that I-beam there
This one?
to the right, down low, just above the guy, right there.
Right here.
We think that's what stopped the torpedo from getting into the ship. Or another I-beam that's no longer there because it was blown away.
This is the inside of the ship?
That's looking into the hole of where the torpedo hit, yeah. It's 40 feet vertical and 25 feet wide.
Wow.
And next picture is just another view of that.
Wow. Holy shit. How did that boat not sink? Ship. Excuse me.
Yeah, better.
You can kick me in the shins later.
Okay, now the next picture is what it looked like when it got back to the States. They spent all that money to make it look like it was never attacked, brought it back to the States,
And put it in
decommissioned it,
I was
and
gonna
sold
say,
it.
Yep.
Put it
So
in
they
hot.
probably spent millions of dollars to make it look like it was never attacked.
Yeah.
And you came back with it, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
came
You
back.
stayed all the way till it got back to the States.
Yeah.
Do you know any of those people in the crowd?
I had a friend of mine from East Auburn that I grew up with, was on that ship, was in that group and came on board with his wife. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No idea what happened.
They didn't know any idea what happened. All right.
That is
And I think that's the last
And
picture.
we really didn't know what
Oh, you might have
happened.
a couple more.
It took several years for us to get information to see what did happen to the ship and why, or theorize why. Or,
In Pennsylvania, the state made them take down this picture because it said attacked by Israel. They wouldn't allow it to stay up.
Where was this?
Somewhere in Pennsylvania, but it was in Massachusetts.
Boy, that was on.
I can't remember. On an interstate.
495. I was on Route 4.
It was 495, and then
on 90 on Mass Pike.
okay, and then
Yeah.
in Connecticut, it was right along the ocean, 95 area, Route 95.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But again, like I said, that sailor there is me.
Yeah.
Peppered.
They didn't ask him to put a shirt on or nothing. It's crazy, huh? You'd think he'd have respect for somebody.
Oh, to be young again. Unbelievable. It kind of leaves you speechless.
We were blessed. There's no question about it. God didn't want us to die that day. And thank God He didn't, because the world, I think, would have ended as we know it.
A lot of people go to war and they leave there and they're like, I don't understand why we were there.
Right.
But at the moment, you think you understand, right?
Yeah. Well, look at
Here,
Vietnam.
you don't have a moment.
Yeah. Vietnam.
None of it makes sense.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm in group. Now, I've been in group in Massachusetts. I've been in group in California. I've been in groups in Florida. And every one of the Vietnam veterans and also some Gulf in that part of the world war says, my 2 years of hell was worse than their year in Vietnam. And they basically say is, I could shoot back, I could hide under a rock. You guys just had to take everything they gave you. You could do nothing. You can't hide.
Not on the ship.
And the guys in the engine room said when the armor-piercing bullets came through, they just ricocheted until they lost their energy. And you didn't know if one of these times you're going to get hit.
How sick and twisted do you have to be in your fucking head to attack a defenseless ship like that?
Right.
An ally
Yeah,
defenseless ship.
supposedly.
As an ally, yeah.
Well, proclaimed ally.
And,
Right.
and you hear now that they might
Join the militaries.
Yeah.
be in the military with us.
Tomorrow.
I am so far against
Can you
that.
imagine?
Yes, that's right, tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm so far against that.
You and me both, friend.
That doesn't make sense at all. It's in the Constitution that we don't do that because it can change. We'll be fighting air wars.
Okay,
Right.
well, and
We
that-
are fighting their
Well, I
wars.
was going to say, isn't that part of the plan?
Yeah. I mean,
that's
why
what
are we,
that's the
You're
plan.
on my plan.
Yeah.
are we really over there because they are that close to nuclear
No.
weapons, or because Israel said it's time for us to go in and do something?
Yeah. Yeah.
The latter.
Yeah.
I don't. Weapons of mass destruction. None of it makes sense. None of it. And yet we have shitty drinking water in the U.S. We have homeless, and we let drugs run rampant. Hey, we give them needles and encourage their drug habits in
Right.
the U.S. But we'll go fight their fucking war for no gain of the U.S. people. Fuck the U.S. people. We'll give them bread and cake, right?
Correct.
We'll have a fight on the UFC on the front lawn, which, sure, that's cool, but what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's help
Sorry.
the world, but take care of
Because that's
citizens
over.
last.
Yeah, fuck Americans.
That's right.
You know, just give me your money and shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
That's right. That's what most
Sad
of the
and,
politicians want. Give me some money, and I'll do whatever you want,
yeah.
as long as it doesn't help the American citizen.
It almost seems intentional that way, doesn't it?
Oh, to me it does.
Weaken them.
And by the way, both
Kick 'em.
parties are
Oh,
equally
yeah.
guilty,
Oh,
except
yeah.
right now the Democrats are doing it right out in the open, and they're not.
Well, so currently, right, here in Maine, the federal government's a whole nother story. But here in Maine, we've been a one-party state essentially since 1954. And so the fraud and the corruption is run rampant, and you can't do a fucking thing about
Correct.
it. Nothing. The AG's not going to look at it. The Secretary of State's not going. No one's going to look
Right.
at it. Children are dying in HHS custody. Who cares? Whatever. Pay me. Power, money, votes, power, money, votes, power. And you've heard me scream it from the hilltops many a time. That the answer isn't just to fill it all with Republicans,
Correct.
because a captive government is a captive government. You need divided government.
Correct.
I think there's some benefit to having one party rule, opposite party rule, for a period of time to try to untangle the knots that we've created. But then it needs to go back to divided government because you got to keep each other in check. And I don't know, man. I'm not convinced that it's savable at a federal level. I don't know, is it savable? Socialism doesn't work. That's everybody knows this,
Right.
and anybody who believes differently is lying to themselves, and that's
Correct.
just what it is. So you have a government that believes socialism. You got Graham Plattner running for federal office. You have people who are in the federal government who think socialism's the answer. Mandavi over in New York. Really, the government, capitalism works, but you need a socialized social structure. You need to take care of your own.
Correct.
And it's got to be community based. And the nonprofits have taken that away from the churches and away from the people, and the government's taking care of the nonprofits, making this a big socialist country. Sorry. I spend way too much time thinking about this, and it really bothers me. It bothers me deeply because I have grandkids, I have kids. And I don't want them to live this way.
Well, if you ask Tom and I, we're glad we're old. Really.
No, I
The
get it.
world we had is much better than what looks like's coming.
Yeah.
The world I had was so much better than
Right.
the world I've given my kids.
Yeah. It's
And it's always, I got the plan to fix it. Well, the last fix fucked it up more. Stop fixing it. Just
Why-
stay the fuck out of it.
why
Just leave
would
it alone.
why would anybody open your borders
Why?
other than I think I can win the election?
Votes, money.
It was all about votes.
Yeah. And then they bring them all in, give them all these benefits, and we got homeless citizens
Yep.
not getting a penny from this
Sorry.
government,
We'll give
and
you-
yet they still vote these idiots in.
We'll give you drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And
how
there's no
bad it is.
incentive to get people off of drugs.
No.
No incentive to make people not.
Well, like you said, they give them needles. If you overdose, they give you medicine to bring you back alive that doesn't cost
Yeah,
you.
make 'em suffer
But yet
more.
a diabetic has to go buy their medicine,
Yeah.
and they're going to die if they don't take it.
Yeah. And how did you get diabetic? The shitty food?
Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. The city
It's a whole
poor
bunch of
Remember
things,
the
yeah.
city poor farms?
Yes.
That was a good idea. It worked.
Yep.
Yeah, I had an uncle in the city poor farm that lived in one, and my father made us go visit, you know, to see him all the time.
Yeah.
At least once a month that we were over
I
there.
said we got to get the officials
It's
to
a good
care for
idea.
Americans.
To me, it's a good idea, and better with these tents all over the place. Is put them to work,
Yeah.
and then they'll find themselves another job somewhere else
Yeah.
if they don't like it, right? And that's what happens. But not now.
I heard somebody say something about, so you know how you go in the military and you can get your GI Bill and go to college? They were talking about, you know, of course, military's not cut out for everybody, and I get that. But there's got to be a way you could have, like, you know, the Job Corps is a mess right now, but you could easily fixable. And then if you do time, you know, you give yourself 3 years in the Job Corps, you could earn a type of GI benefit,
Right.
Call it what you will. But, you know, student debt's a huge issue. Here's a way to fix it. And get the federal government out of the loaning institutions. Get them out of there. That's why college debt's so high. Anything the government touches turns into a mess, and you gentlemen are a great testament to that.
Right,
Anything the government touches turns into a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
yeah.
Thank my wife and kids. I'm a moron. I volunteered.
I did too.
I did too.
I'm in good company.
I tried college, didn't like it, and went in the Navy.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,